Plants vs. Zombies. PVZ is a modern classic with fun but addicting gameplay that can attract people of all ages. The game hit off like an abusive dad hitting his kid. Obviously, with a success up to this level, a franchise usually spawns. And with a franchise comes lots and lots of secrets and other hidden things. Today, I'll be talking about this PVZ Iceberg made by me, Malavins. Without further ado, let's jump in. Cheat codes. In PVZ 1, there's these codes where if you type a certain word in, or certain phrase, it will alter all zombie appearances / other things. These codes only work on the PC version though. Actually, this is editing Mallow here, and I figured out that they actually do work on the console versions, but you have to put in a secret command. Yeah, that's it. Editing Mallow out for now. PVZ 3. PVZ 3 is the upcoming third entry in the mainline PVZ franchise. Technically, it's PVZ 4 if you count the truly awful original version. Just yikes. Unicorn Chomper. If you had Garden Warfare 1 saved data on your system, and you downloaded Garden Warfare 2, you would gain the Unicorn Chomper. The Unicorn Chomper's gimmick is that it can do 2 dashes similar to the Scientist dashes. Also, there is a version similar to the Unicorn Chomper called the Twilight Chomper, with the same gimmick, just different appearance. And you would actually have to pay for this one, like as a DLC. Giga Gargantuar / Giga Football Zombie. In PVZ 1, if you survive long enough in Survival Endless, you can encounter the Giga Garg and the Giga Football Zombie. Just look at him! Also, it's important to note that you can only find the Giga Football Zombie in the online version of PVZ, which I'm pretty sure is discontinued. Cheetah's crossover. In Garden Warfare 2, 2 promotional characters were created, Chester Chomper and Dr. Chester. These characters didn't appear in Garden Warfare 2, but Dr. Chester was reworked into the zoologist. Alright, for this entry I'm going to do my best South Park Michael Jackson voice. Michael Jackson Zombie! In PVZ 1, the disco zombie was originally based off of Michael Jackson's Thriller appearance. How ignorant! However, Michael Jackson passed away later that year, so PopCap changed it. Shamona! PVZ Clock App. It's really in the name. If you want a zombie pointing at the time, then this app is for you. Crazy Dave is a zombie theory. This is a pretty popular theory in the PVZ community. The theory goes that Crazy Dave is crazy because he got bitten by a zombie but hasn't fully turned into a zombie yet, making him lose control of his mind. This theory also can go further that the whole game was imaginary because Dave is just imagining the plants killing all of the zombies that have recently bitten him. Though I really hate the "it's just a dream" theories or "it was a coma." Slenderman in Garden Warfare 1. No, this isn't some shitty creepypasta. On the map Zomboss Estate, if you look far into the forest, you can see Slenderman just chillin', hanging out. However, in the Tactical Taco Party DLC, it was updated so Slenderman is being vored by a chomper. Don't look that up on DeviantArt, by the way. Great Wall Edition. The Great Wall Edition is the Chinese version of PVZ that has some minor cosmetic differences. Rare Zombie Death Animation. In the Xbox 360 version of Plants vs. Zombies, there's a rare death animation when a zombie bites into a walnut. The zombie gets an allergic reaction and dies a very slow and dramatic death. Editing Mallow back here once again, and there's actually another rare death animation in the game, and you know how a Zamboni will run over a spikeweed and just kind of sputters and explodes? Well, there's a death animation where the Zamboni actually tips over and explodes. Yeah, that's it. Editing Malavins out, hopefully I won't have to return again. Gravedigger in Garden Warfare 2. Oh boy, get ready for this one. In the Garden Warfare 2 game files, a model of some kind of Gravedigger zombie was found. It's unknown if it was going to be a spawnable, a class, or a variant, or even an NPC. If I had to guess, it looks like it would be a pirate variant. It doesn't end here, however. After a bit more digging, I found some concept art of him. I did even more digging and found a Garden Warfare 1 model which reveals that the Gravedigger was going to be a foot soldier. But that raises a question. Why was the model updated in Garden Warfare 2? Before I move on, I just want to show you these cut characters. This pea shooter looks a lot like the sky shooter in PVZ Heroes. This Robo Foot Soldier is actually in Garden Warfare 2 as an AI. And finally, this SWAT Foot Soldier. Berry Shooter / Citrus Cactus. These characters are special because they didn't return in Garden Warfare 2. These characters were a less obvious sponsorship with Aquafina, so that's why they didn't return. Original Zombotany track. Zombotany is the track that plays when you fight Dr. Edgar Zomboss. However, there's supposed to be a much different track than the one that was now currently used. I'll play a little bit of it now. The bungee zombie can grab the umbrella leaf. Alright, crappy diagram, you're up. So for this to happen, you'll need a bungee zombie to grab a planting pot, and to get stunned by a kernel pulse better. When it's stunned, place an umbrella leaf on the pop. Then, when the bungee zombie gets unstunned, it will grab the umbrella leaf, and bam, now you have a good Discord screenshot. Send it to all of your friends. Give me your kitties. Garden Warfare Breaking Bad parody. Massive spoilers for Breaking Bad. Please go watch the show, it's amazing. Or skip this timestamp. Alright, all of the people that don't care? Alright, here we go. In the Zomboss Down trailer, the opening parallels Walter White's death scene perfectly with the beard and the glasses. To add to that, in Garden Warfare 2 you can see a zombie that looks like the Heisenberg drawing. Jesse, we need to cook some brains for Zomboss Fring. Painter Zombie. The Becca-head zombie originally looked like a painter. This was changed before the release, however. BFN is a prequel theory. This theory states that because they use eels as a power source in BFN, instead of moon rocks in Garden Warfare 2, that makes it a prequel. This theory is really dumb, though. Dying Light PVZ Easter egg. In the game Dying Light, you can encounter a really funny Easter egg with lots of the PVZ plants. Power Lily Pot. In Garden Warfare 2, in the game files, you can find the Power Lily from PVZ 2. It's unknown what it would do, but I think it would decrease the cooldowns of your abilities when you were near it. Hey y'all, Editing Malevance back here once again, and literally one trip to the Wikipedia page would explain what it does. It would shoot out a beam similar to the Hover Goat's beam that would make you do more damage. Also, I just want to draw attention to this magnifying glass that was also found in the game file. It's really cool. Speaking of unused Garden Warfare 2 content, the Laser Goat. In the game files of Garden Warfare 2, you can find this Hover Goat that looks much different. This was before costumes were added for the Hover Goat and Torchwood. Were variants originally planned for them? Hey, Editing Malevance back here again. Sorry we had to meet so soon. But this one is actually really interesting when you go deep inside of it, because originally it was supposed to be a class that both sides could play, zombie and plants, but for some reason it was cut. Even though this was an awesome idea, it had two unique abilities: Heal Belch, which heals the team similar to like the laser beam the scientist uses, and Impulse Grenade, which stuns enemies and does 10 damage. Deadplants.exe. This is a PVC creepypasta where a guy pirates plants versus zombies and spooky things start happening, like the musing being off-key and the night graves having dead celebrities on them. It's just a generic 2012 creepypasta. PVZ All-Stars. PVZ All-Stars was a Chinese exclusive that was a spin-off to PVZ 2, kind of like the Great Wall Edition that I mentioned earlier. This was cancelled very soon after the beta was released. Shark Chomper. The Shark Chomper was a cancelled variant for the Chomper. It's unknown what it was meant to do, and the only reason we know of it is because of some concept art. Ice World. This was a cut world from PVZ 1. The only reason we know about it is because of some leftover data in the code. More on that later. It's clear it didn't go very far into development. I imagine it would be like Frostbite Caverns and where PVZ 2, where your plants would freeze up and you'd have to use certain plants to unfreeze them. Early pea-shooter garden warfare design. This was the early concept of the. Instead, in PVZ Heroes, there used to be a glitch with the unthawed Viking. What it was supposed to say in the description was, instead, freeze all plants. However, there was a glitch that just made it say only instead. This was a huge meme in the PVZ Heroes community. Help Easter egg. In the help menu, there's this really funny Easter egg where there's a note by the zombies. In the manual on the Xbox version, there's also another funny note. Bungie Zombie and Garden Warfare. This model was found in the game files of Garden Warfare 1, which has the bungee cord around a regular zombie. This was definitely a spawnable, but how would it work? I have zero ideas that wouldn't be utterly broken and or overpowered. Countless unused names. There are plenty of unused original names for PVZ. Here's a giant list of some of them. Limbo page. The Limbo page is a minigame page only accessible within the code, which has a ton of unused minigames and is also where the ice level appears. This small YouTuber named Extra47 made a really good video on the Limbo page and made some other really good PVZ videos as well. The link to his video will be in the description, and please go check some of his other videos out. Hey guys, editing Malevin back here, hopefully for the last time. I don't know how this is gonna go, but found out I didn't actually write the script for the DS exclusive minigames, and I was supposed to appear at the end because I also found out that there's exclusive minigames for the console ports as well. So I'll explain them very briefly. Air Raid, kind of like a bullet hell. I don't know if you guys have played the Cuphead, like, plane modes, but yeah, similar to that, except you, like, would gain power-ups and kill stuff. Home Run, this, like, baseball one that I never understood as a small child, and I think it's, like, called Heavy Weapon or something like that. Console port, which is, it's a really interesting one. You, gun down zombies with, like, peas attached to a lawnmower or something, and then, yeah. Thank you, editing Malevin out. Yeah. Garden Warfare 2 mock-up image. In the game files of Garden Warfare 2, you can find this mock-up image. It's just a regular old mock-up image, but it looks really interesting, like this health and damage bar right here. Was each variant supposed to have different stats from one another? So this is where the Iceberg was going to end originally. But right when I was about to start recording, my mic broke. So while my new mic was arriving, I made some new entries on this new Iceberg. There aren't a lot of them, and this is more of a small treat, so I hope you enjoy the extra entries. And I'm going to be calling them the Lost Entries, because they sound cool and flashy. The dolphin is also a zombie. In the Dolphin Rider Almanac entry, it states that the dolphin is also a zombie. This is one of the known zombie animals in the PVZ universe. And I don't mean, like, zombie riding on this animal, like, I mean totally zombified. The other one is the hover goat. There could easily be potentially more that I'm missing out on, so please let me know in the comments. Versus mode / co-op mode. In the console and DS versions of PVZ, there exists a mode that has gotten a resurgence in popularity, that being versus mode. However, not many people know about the co-op mode, where you work with a friend to beat certain levels in other minigames. It's Raining Seas isn't on console. Like the title says, It's Raining Seeds isn't on console, which is a really weird design choice. It's unknown why it was cut as well. Upsell. In the PVZ demo, once you reach level 29, you get a talk from Crazy Dave saying, "Buy the full game, you broke fuck." What's interesting is that on the Limbo page, you can access this and the intro cutscene, which begs the question, could you originally view all Crazy Dave dialogue and other cutscenes within the game? Scared Bungee Zombie. In the game files of PVZ 1, the Bungee Zombie has a face like he just experienced a world war. This was cut most likely to make the bungee look more threatening. PVZ Hard Mode. PVZ Hard Mode, or PVZ Plus, is a mod that makes various changes to make the game extremely hard. This mod is only for the true gamers. PVZ Arcade Games. There are a bunch of PVZ Arcade games. I have personally never played any of them, but lots of them look really fun. Maybe someday I'll go and play one for this channel. War of 76. In the Imitator Almanac entry, it mentions the War of 76, and that begs the question, what was the War of 76? It's described as a time with no pea shooters and only spoons, so I can imagine it was probably a little strange, to say the least. Mass Effect crossover. There was a very minor crossover between Mass Effect and PVZ. If you pre-ordered Garden Warfare 2, you would get the Z7 Imp, which is based off of Mass Effect. Later, however, he became available to purchase with real-life money. Thanks, EA. 100 Sun Sunflower. In the development of PVZ-1, the Sunflower was 100 Sun. This was toned down before release. It's weird thinking that the Sunflower was about to cost as much as a pea shooter. Zomboni Almanac change. The Zomboni had its Almanac entry changed for unknown reasons. The original read, often mistaken for a zombie, driving an ice machine, the Zomboni is a totally different life form, more closely related to some sort of space ogre than a zombie. Weird. Moonbase Z Easter egg. I have zero idea on how to activate this Easter egg, but from my understanding, if you gather enough players and go to a certain point on the map, you can find a space worm doing this weird dance. Unused spikeweed mechanic. In the files of PVZ-1, you can find this image of a damaged spikeweed. This could mean two things. One, the spikeweed may have been able to still live after destroying a Zomboni but would do less damage, or it would slowly decay over time, kind of like the puff shrooms in PVZ-2. Woo! Last entry. Unused zombie vase. In the game files of PVZ-1, you can find the zombie vase. This might have been a boss vase like the one in PVZ-2. Woo! That's it. This video took an absurd amount of time to make, so please like and subscribe. And I also have a TikTok and a Discord, and links of those will be in the description. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot of new content upcoming, and lots of PVZ content if you're into that. Alright, goodbye. Thank you for watching once again. Love you all.